Dr. Devendra is still trying to connect with all of us. In the meantime, I would request Abdul Gofar to please, Mr. Abdul Gofar to please
Yeah,
present the
it's me.
paper.
Yep.
Yes, sir. He's going to speak on
Yeah.
learning during
Okay.
COVID-19 pandemic, analysis of the deconstruction
Yeah.
of distance learning in students in Indonesia. I welcome you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Let me share my presentations.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Um, First of all, I would like to thank the committee who already gave me a chance to present my material dealing with um, learning during the COVID-19 since pandemics, the analysis of the deconstruction of distance learning of Indonesian students. Yeah, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Abdul Ghafur. Yeah, I'm a senior lecturer in the Islamic Institute Madura. And well, my background of educations, I'm a bachelor's from IKIP Negeri Malang, and then for the Magister of English Language Teaching, and then finished my study in Surabaya University in 2019. And then for today, I'm still as a student of doctorate program of social science, politics, yeah, ongoing process. Yeah, in this occasion, I would like to present the material for those lines dealing with the introduction of educational phenomenon during COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia. And then I'm going to talk about the method of the research itself, result of the research, and then discussion and then conclusions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we know that for today's talking about the coronavirus, it'll be something that are very interesting with us, yeah, because many countries are suggesting a various level of containment in order to prevent the spread of coronavirus itself, or we call COVID-19. With this kind of worries, school and universities are closing down and moving abruptly to online platform and remote education. And this is a suddenly change has us asking what is actually the impact of the coronavirus itself for our educational settings. Yeah, and take a look on this kind of impact for the first one when we got this kind of coronavirus. So from March up to now in Indonesia, yeah, I'm talking about in the Indonesian perspective, yeah, distant learning become the main option during the spread of coronavirus that still spreading in Indonesia. And then in the implementation of distant learning, teachers and students perform home teaching activities without going face to face. And distant learning activities have both a positive and negative impact on the parties involved, both between educational institutions, students, and also parents. Distant learning itself has been implemented in line with the circular issues by the Ministry of Education Indonesia that already published from the website of the Dikbud recorded 220 and 353,000 school and also for 42 million students who will automatically do distant learning from elementary to high school levels. In this case, many teachers, students, and parents are shocked by the distant learning itself, because this kind of systems emphasize students more in their learning using gadget, for example, like that, and also laptop and also the PC that they have. And this make the response of all elements of the school teachers, student, and also the guardians that very varied some are welcome, and some others are forced, and then some are confused with this kind of the model of um, the learning itself. Yeah, what will be done that the student also, the teacher should be stay connected at home. Take a look on this kind of model. Yeah, the connectedness is an important part of post-secondary learning. During the time at university, students do more than attend classes. Typically, they make friends, meet a professional in their field, and participate in the health and wellness activities, including sport and counseling, and also involve themselves in many other activities, the benefit of which could be last lifetimes. As a many educational institutions around the globe are undergoing extending or planning enclosures due to the COVID-19, half of the world students' population is unable to attend the school itself. In this case, the educators face the challenge of teaching remotely at an unprecedented scale, and in some cases for the first times. And then this kind of model will be talk about something that is very different with the context of normal and um, um, new normals. Yeah. Okay. In the concept of new normal, as a usual, a teacher going to use any kind of ED model. Yeah. This kind of model is the generic process that traditionally used by instructional designer and training developers. Take a look here. It will be 5 phases. The first, analyze. The second one, design. The develop, implement, and then evaluate, that we call EDI model. The 5 phases itself represent a dynamic, flexible guideline for building effective training and performance support tool. While perhaps the most common design model, there are a number of weaknesses of the EDI model itself, which have led to a number of spin-off or variations. And it is an instructional system design that is most of the current instructional design model are spin-off or a variation of the EDI models. That other model include the dig and carry, and also CAM and ICSD models. Such kind of model will be used in the normal condition, yeah, as I told you before, yes, now. And commonly accepted improvement to this model is the use of rapid prototypings. This is the idea of receiving continual or formative feedback while instructional material are being created. This model attempts to save time and money by catching problems while they are still easy to fix. Instructional theories also play an important role in the design of instructional material. The theories such kind of behaviorism, constructivism, and social learning and cognitive help shape and define the outcome of instructional material. Take a look on the analysis phase here. Yeah, the analysis phase is instructional problem that is clarified. The instructional goal and objective are established, and the learning environment and learner existing knowledge and skills are identified. Yeah, and then for design phase, yeah, and then for design phase, the design phase deal with the learning objective assessment, instruments, exercises, content, subject matter analysis, lesson planning, and media selection. The design phase should be systematic and specific. The systematic mean a logical or orderly method of identifying, developing, and evaluating a set of plans, strategies targeted for attaining the project's goal. The specifics mean each element the instructional design plan needs to be executed with extension to detail. This will be step use the design phase. The first one will be documentation of the subjects of the project itself, instructionals, visual and technical design strategy, apply instructional strategies according to the extended behavior outcome by domain. For example, such kind of cognitive, affective, and also psychomotor. design the user interface and user's experience, yeah, and then prototype creations, and apply visual design or graphic design. And the next one will be develop phases, yeah, development phases. This kind of development phases is where the developers create and assembles the content asset that were created in the design phases. The programmers work to develop and or integrate technologies. Testers performs debugging procedures. So kind of their project is reviewers and revised according to any feedback given. And then for the fourth phase, that is implement. Yeah? During the implementation phase, a procedures for training the facilitators and learners is developed. And the facilitators trainings should covers the course curriculum, the learning outcome, the method of deliveries, and the testing procedures. And the preparation of the learners include training them on new tools and of software and also hardware, and also the student registration. And this is also the phase where the project manager ensures that the books, the hand and equipment tools, CD-ROMs, and software are in place, that is the learning application or website is functional. And now for the last phase will be evaluate, where the evaluation phases consist of two parts. The first one will be formative and then super summative. Yeah, the formative evaluation is present in each stage of the EDIS process. Summative evaluation consists of task design for the domain-specific criteria-related reference item and providing opportunities for feedback from the users itself. And for the new normal conditions, yeah, for the new normal condition, the model of teaching will be the teachers need any kind of a learning platform, yeah, learning platform, such kind of a model of teaching by using a online learning that should be prepared by this by the teacher and of course by the school itself. And preparing any kind of instructional package and make the presentation or make the model of teaching will be as simple as possible. Okay, while for the research that I already done, the focus of the research itself, the first one is I'm going to know the model of distance learning for college students in Indonesia, and then knowing the implementation of distance learnings and how the implementation is done in these constructions on Derrida's point of view. Okay, and for the method of the research itself, it will be talking about the approach that I'm going to use here. It will be the descriptive qualitative with the statistical descriptive. And for the subject is the Indonesian students that randomly I use by using Google form. Okay, and the data analysis that the researcher uses on analyzing the student written gotten from the Google form itself, and then by using the construction point of view going to be analyzed. Okay, now take a look on this kind of concept that the e-learning itself is a system based on formalized teaching, but will the help of electronic resources is knowing as e-learning, while teaching can be beside based in or the classroom itself. And the use of computers and also the internet from the major component of e-learnings. For today, there are two great equalizer in life. Yeah, for today, the internet and education. It's some such kind of a good one for us. And by combining the two e-learnings, will be the great equalizer in the next century by eliminating the barriers of the times and then distance and also socioeconomic status. And then individuals can now take charge of their lifelong learning. Okay, now we are going to focus on the deconstruction. That is, I focus the deconstruction is based on the Jacques Derrida's point of view. Yeah, deconstructing is the process of taking a broad standards and analyzing its components, then breaking the standard itself into smaller, more explicit by instructional learning target for use in daily teaching and classrooms level assessment. Okay, and the step in the reconstruction process, the first one will be identify the action required of the learners. Yeah, as I already explained just now, that the reconstruction itself will be thinking about the text that already given by the student based on the Google form that already given, and identifying the contents in the standard itself. So in this case, we have such kind of the standard. Yeah, deconstructing the standard is a simply analyzing the standard to determine what it requires students to know and be able to do. Yeah, this is the first step in the process in the development of clear instructional learning target. The first, educators identify the action that the standard require the learners to complete. Then the specific academic content, knowledge or skill of the standard is identified. And then the following slide will be provide an example of the two steps because of the process. Yeah, that the step itself will be deconstructing the content standard helps to ensure that the teachers are clear of what students are expected to know and be able to do to reach the mastery of the standard itself. Okay, now take a look on the Derrida's point of view. Yeah, as already known that the Derrida's point of view will be talking about any structure, whether in a social studies, science, or literature need, and then rethinking from new position to leave demonstrativeness to interpretation. Yeah. Okay. Jacques Derrida was the founder of deconstruction. That is, it will be a way of criticizing not only both literary and philosophical texts, but also political institutions. Although Derrida at time expressed regret concerning the fate of the word deconstruction, yeah, its popularity indicate the wide rankings in the influence of his thought in a philosophy, in literary criticism and theory, and in art, and in particulars, architectural theory and in political theory. Yeah, indeed, Derrida's frame nearly reached the status of a media star with 100 of people filling auditoriums to hear him speak. Yeah, with a film and television program devoted to him, with countless book and article devoted to his thinking, and beside critic Derridian's construction, the construction consists in an attempt to reconceive the difference that divides self-consciousness, the difference in consciousness of oneself. Yeah, but
Sir,
even more. Yep. Yeah.
excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I think you would need to wind up in a few
Okay.
minutes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. And perhaps more importantly, this concept attempt to render justice, indeed the concept is relentless in this pursuit, since justice is impossible to achieve. Okay, next. Okay. The process of teaching just moving, yeah. After we analyze all the data, then we could conclude that the process of teaching just moving the normal class into the virtual class, that already happens, and then the students should be joined with their teacher or lecturer in their schedule given, and there are more assignment or homework to make sure the student learning, and there are no freedom of learning. Okay, in the context of e-learning itself, actually in the context of e-learning, the student will be free to study. Yeah. While the online learning system, the students have freedom to enter their class wherever and whenever they can. One which is that not all students have the same level of understanding. For students who are diligent and easy to absorb information, online learning method will be obsolete. But those who are not familiar with this kind of method will has that kind of difficult. It is the concept of Derrida's that I already explained. which one is the freedom, which one is not. So the context of freedom in e-learning will be different in action in the process of teaching in Indonesia. And the last one, there are 272% of the student felt uncomfortable with distance learning, and 28% of students said that they felt uncomfortable. Okay, thank you for the presentation. I'm back to the moderators. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for Mr. Gafur. And is there any question or query to the presenter?
I would inform everybody that Dr. Oh, one second. Dr. Devendra Kumar is here, and he's the chairperson of this technical session. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So is there any question or the query to the presenter? I think there is no question, but I would like to say something about your paper, sir. That your topic is more demanding uh, in the recent time, and the concept is very recent. And the way you analyze the physical class transforming into the virtual classes, and you analyze it very excellent manner, sir. And
Thank you.
I think the core of study that is very conventional, and the classroom teaching is a very conventional way that cannot be substituted by the online classes. And your
Yep.
data is also showing the same result. So I am very much agree with your result, and I am congratulating you for your successful presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, doctors.
And now I am requesting Dr. Palvi Kumarji. Dr. Palvi Kumar is here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, ma'am. Please, I am requesting you to
Yeah.
present your paper, and you are going to speak on strengthening education system through building resilience and embracing innovative solution. The next new normal during COVID-19. Please take over, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity to present my paper in this conference. I believe my screen is shared with all of you, and you're able to see that. Please confirm. My screen is visible, I hope so.
Yes, ma'am. Please go
Okay,
on,
thank you
ma'am.
so much. Yeah. Well, at present time, we see that COVID-19 has put a huge impact on the education sector in an unprecedented way. So due to this lockdown, you can see the students are not able to continue their studies in the normal physical classroom setting, which is actually a huge challenge for all of us. So due to this outbreak of COVID-19, we have to adopt to technologies, and the institutions are trying very hard to give training to the faculty member as how they can take the online classes. So so we all can understand that this pandemic has brought a positive change and also a flexibility in our mindset for both the students and the teachers. But still, with the introduction of some technologies, initially we have to face some problems, right? So these problems which are being faced by the students and the educational institutes are that in this online platform, the students are not able to have the physical interaction with with the faculties, which is actually a great challenge. The technological solutions can be sound for the urban-centric educational institution, but where the students are located in remote areas, for them it is very difficult to access the laptops and to connect with the mobile and to connect with the online classes. Another barrier is that in this online education, where in India, the English is not the mother tongue, English is the second language, and maximum of the contents are uploaded in English. So in fact, the students are facing a lot of problem in understanding the content. And that too, there is a flexibility that they can access the content as per their ease. So every time the faculties or the teachers are not available to give them guidance, right? So it has to be like the teacher will have to motivate the students to come forward with their queries. It was also a very big challenge for the faculties also to learn as how to use the online tools, like Mentimeters are there, quizzes are there. So there are a lot of softwares which are coming up. So giving practical training to the teachers so that they can use in this short period of time very effectively was also a very big challenge. This COVID-19 has not only impacted the higher education, but it has also impacted the lower and the middle level students, middle and lower level students. So it's very difficult to make them understand and cope with these changes. A lot of pressure has been given to the faculties to upload the content to go online, because when we are in an offline mode, the things comes very automatically and we are very natural in our presentation. But when we have to manage the technologies, every time we have to be very conscious as how to manage and how to get into a right track. So a lot of pressure is also there on the part of the parents, who will have to upload the classworks and the homeworks basically for those students who belong from a primary education level. And we cannot ignore that there's a challenge of internet, challenge of using the mobiles every time. So we can see that during the initial stages of this transformation, of course, the education sector, they faced a lot of challenges. The challenge in terms of training the faculties, the challenge in terms of a lot of investments to introduce new mode of learning. There was also a lack of interest and rigidity among the students to access the digital learning resources, because once the teachers are uploading, it's very difficult to maintain a track and to see whether the students are actually accessing or not. So it's basically on a trust basis that we have to move on. Student engagement is also a very big challenge, because you have to keep, by using the various tools, you have to keep the class very interactive, very engaging, so that the students attention throughout the class will remain maintained. So a lot of challenges for the students are there and for the teachers are there, and especially when we talk about the skill based subjects like soft skills or any science related papers, we giving training on online mode is actually a challenge, because you have to basically upscale the skills of the students to make them industry fit. So bigger challenge is there to redesign the entire system of education and learning management system. So now I have just talked about the problems. Now I'll like to talk about the strategies which can be taken up to build that diverse and inclusive workplace. First thing I would like to say that it's very important that you should empower the employees so that they can come freely with their views, and so that they can talk about as what can be the best strategies and the best way to perform in this crisis. Student must be aware about the benefits of using laptops, benefits of upgrading themselves with their skills, so that they can perform in the market in a better way. Use of online tools should be used to make the class more interactive and fun loving. Simulation, when we talk about the education in management sector, simulation based management games, case study, role play, these are some of the tools or some of the pedagogy which can be used by the teachers. Timely training of faculty is also important, so that they can understand the challenges which are being faced by the students, and to they can work more confidently. Flipped education, or you can say hybrid education, case based education, is very important, where you can give real life situation to the students so that they can handle this. And of course we cannot deny that upgrading the syllabus course wise, content wise, and incorporating new programs like crisis management, disaster management, health attack management must be imparted to the students. So it's now the way that now it's not the time only to think about digital, we have to also being digital in this way. So we have to adopt the digital way of teaching and learning with the changing scenario. New pedagogical tools has to be used, which are very innovative in one way. So basically the use of blended education, mixing, so we cannot say, as sir you have rightly said, that we cannot replace the traditional knowledge, the traditional learning or teaching modes, but it has to be mixed with the digital mode as well. So there is a constant need to rethink about the policies to attain a robust approach and strategies to stay strong in this crisis. So this COVID has also given us an opportunity along with the challenges. The opportunity is there that as a faculty, we can learn new things, we can apply new things, we can learn as how to upload the content online. We have to be on our toes day and night, we have to work, but then this situation is there and our job is to give our best to the students. So in that way, this COVID has also given us an opportunity to participate in the conferences like I'm doing right now, and seminars which can upgrade our knowledge. And it's a very excellent platform where we can exchange our information, learn new things as well. So the students also through the online mode, they can participate in various conferences, and online panel discussions can be there where they can exchange their views and they can listen to the experts as well. students have availed the facility of blended education. Now, like we have been talking about the outcome-based education, so incorporating outcome-based education in this online teaching is actually very much important. And it's very good that students nowadays, they are using computers and mobiles for a productive purpose rather than just gaming and scrolling for their entertainment. So embracing innovation solution is the next new normal for the education sector. We have to look into the areas where we lack, like maybe we have the problems like infrastructural support, computers and laptops, but we have to keep on our toes. We have to foster the research and development and motivate the peoples to learn everything new which is coming up, because innovation is something that can give us the solution to face the problems and to achieve the solutions at a faster rate. So teachers will have to be in a flexible mindset, and the support of the entire team is required, so that if something new is being introduced, we have to adopt it with a flexible mindset. We should be flexible to work with a diverse workforce. Now that the teachers are very talented, they are learning and they are grooming themselves, so there's a need that this talented employee must be hired so that they can adapt themselves in the dynamic market. So keeping an eye on the competitors will also be an excellent idea, where we always get an idea as how to be in the better competitive edge and unlock those opportunities which are still not unexplored. So this is all about my presentation. If anybody has any question, I'm open to that. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there any question or query to the presenter? I think that there is no question for the presenter. But ma'am, thank you very much for describing the next new normal during that era. And some of my thought about your paper is changes, truly changes always innovative in nature. And ma'am, you have already discussed about the challenges that we are facing in the age of pandemic. And one thing I am saying, ma'am, that
Yes.
challenges and opportunities always go hand in hand. And you have discussed many challenges during that era due to the lack of availability of the equipments, proper training to the teachers as well as to the student as well. So you have discussed so many important aspects of the digitalization in India and about its benefit to the common man. So your approach is very decent, ma'am, and your study is
Thank you
really
so
the need
much.
of the hour, ma'am. I
Thank you so
congratulate
much.
you for your I congratulate you for your successful presentation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. And now I am inviting our third presenter, Mr. Pranjal Protim Bora, sir. And are you there, sir? Pranjal Protim Bora.
Yes, yes,
Are you
sir.
there, sir?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, sir. Okay,
So am I
sir.
audible, sir?
Yes, yes. You are audible, sir. And you are
Okay.
going to present your paper on education in India in COVID-19 pandemic. Please take
Uh,
over,
uh,
sir.
okay, sir. So first of all, I'm very much sorry because of some technical problem. I failed to share my slide on the laptop. Just I'm going to present my paper. And first of all, I would like to offer my heartfelt honor to you, sir, Dr. Devendra
Thank you,
Kumar,
sir.
sir,
Thank
and
you, sir.
also the session coordinator, Monisha Shastra and Jayanta Kumarji. So I'm going to present my paper titled Education in India in COVID-19 pandemic. Sir, should I start from the introduction part or?
No, so please stick with the time limit, sir, because we
Oh,
are running out of
oh,
time, sir.
okay, okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
So we all know about the COVID-19 pandemic. So it is started from Wuhan, China, and the first case that is on January 11, 2020, a 60-year-old woman in Wuhan, China, died from COVID-19, and it was the first death case registered because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Uh, it seems having the nature of something developing at an exponential speed. And on 11 February 2020, World Health Organization proposed an official name of this unseen virus as COVID-19. And on March 11, uh, it is called a pandemic, declared as a pandemic. So the pandemic has spread to 216 countries, affecting millions of people, causing lakhs of death, and people around the globe are living with the fear of being infected. And in India, the first case uh, was reported on January 30, 2020. So it was happened in Kerala. So a person with a travel history from Wuhan, China, was found infected. So in India, the first death case was reported on March 12, 2020, and on March 25th, Government of India announced the first phase of lockdown. And as the numbers of infected people have been increased day by day, the government has no option except extending the lockdown period. And the government has been closely monitored the effects of the virus and accordingly declared different phases of lockdown. So, under such circumstances, the education sector of our country has been significantly disrupted. Educational institutions have never got any scope to start in all the phases of lockdown. Almost all the educational institutions in India are compelled to cancel their classes, examination, etc., because of the lockdown. The pandemic confused the teachers and the students and also compelled closure of their activities related to education. The crisis came all of a sudden that almost all were confused how to cope up with the situation. And the lockdown was essential to stop spreading the virus, and we all agree with that. The government, educators, students realized that only education institution has closed due to the lockdown, but not the education. And teaching and learning process should be going on, and the lockdown has taught so many lessons to manage with the emergence of the pandemic. Therefore, the government has suggested digital mode of education. Teachers and students are advised to continue their educational activities through online. The pandemic has created challenges, but at the same time, it has introduced opportunities for the educational institutions to strengthen their knowledge and infrastructure for digital mode of education. And teachers, students are start interacting via internet, video conferencing, different apps like Google Meet, Cisco Webex, Zoom, Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, etc. Are used as tools as tools for online education. But at the same time, there appears problem also. It is not possible for educators and students to cope up with the sudden things from traditional education setup to the online education system. All students do not have technological arrangement also. Every student is not equipped with digital facilities. Still, an approach for digital learning on the part of the government is encouraged. And so far, the objective of my paper is concerned, and the paper is focused on various measures taken by government of India for education sector during COVID-19 pandemic, and it is also to suggest some put some suggestion for continuing educational activities during the pandemic situation. And my paper is analytical and descriptive, and data and information mentioned in the paper are collected from different websites, journals, e-contents, and reports prepared by national agencies. Well, um, the government of India have been and the governments of other states have taken measures and advised the institutions to hold all their classes online. Adoption of digital technology on the part of the educational institution is encouraged. Therefore, Ministry of Human Resource Development, that is called MSRD, has made arrangements such as educational channels through direct to home TV, radio for students. UGC also recommended various online portals and educational channels which acted as digital resources for online education. And Diksha, ePatsala, and National Repository of Open Educational Resources. These are some platforms that are introduced for secondary education. So around 250 teachers across the country under the guidance of CBCS and NCRT have created the content of Diksha. And Diksha is a portal where more than 80,000 ebooks for classes from 1 to 12 are available. This is created by CBCS and NCRT in multiple languages. The portal contains e-learning content for students, teachers, parents, including video lessons, textbooks, and assignments. I mentioned the website also in my paper. Um, and ePatsala is an e-learning app prepared by NCRT for students from class 1 to 12. The app has preserved 1,886 audios, 2,000 videos, and 696 ebooks, and 504 flipbooks in multiple languages for our students of classes 1 to 12. This app is also aimed at students, educators, and parents. Um, and this portal designed with content according to the curriculum for class 1 to 12. It provides resources for students and teachers also in multiple languages. Videos, interactive models, books, etc. are available in this portal. And MSRD and UGC have set up different digital technology also for higher education during COVID-19 pandemic. And one of is that Gyan Darshan. So it is a web-based TV channel which is designed for open and distance learners. And I mentioned the website also. And next one is Gyandhara. So it is also a web radio. It is an internet audio counseling service. This is offered by IGNO, Indira Gandhi National Open University, and where interaction between students and teachers is made possible. Students can listen to the live discussion made by experts and teachers. And next one is eGyan Coach. That is developed by Open and Distance Learning Institution of India. All rights of this digital technology are reserved by IGNO, India National Open University. It is a national digital repository to store.
Sorry to
and
interrupt you,
share.
sir. Please wind up, sir.
Okay. So Swam and Swam Padprabha. So these are mentioned in my paper. So as the digital tools. And in my paper, so I have just mentioned some platforms so that we can provide to the students digital technologies. And there is no denying the fact that COVID-19 pandemic is unprecedented. The estimation of loss because of the pandemic perhaps cannot be confined. And we all are agree education sector of India is immensely affected. And we believe that to cope up with the crisis, government of India, government of the states, agencies like UGC, MSRD, CBCSE, etc., have explored and possibility of teaching and learning through digital technologies. Though all the educational agencies such as different digital technologies to use, yet we can't ignore the fact that India is not yet fully equipped to make education reach all parts of the nation through digital technology. Hence, both the government, central government, and the state governments and educational agencies should develop creative strategies to ensure education to all students, irrespective of their place and position of living. This is that I would like to mention in my paper, and this is all about my presentation, sir.
Thank you, sir. Is there any question or query about the paper? Any observation? Thank you, sir. Some of my views about your paper is, sir, that
Yes,
you
sir.
have discussed the same alarming situation all over the world.
Yes.
And it is undeniable that education sector is the one of the most affected one
Yes.
from this
Yes.
pandemic.
Yes, sir.
And time is testing our skills, our
Yes, sir.
endurance, and we are trying to match up with the new technology and trying to make something count. And
Yes, sir.
you have said everything that is needed. You have
Yes.
informed us various various steps that was taken by the government to improve and continue our learning and teaching process in
Yes,
India.
sir. Sir.
and your observation is very decent and excellent. And I am congratulating you for your successful presentation, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
And now I am inviting the last presenter of the technical session, Miss Sultana Parveen. Are you there? Miss Sultana Parveen. Ma'am, are you there? Sultana Parveen?
Yes, sir, I am here.
Okay, ma'am. I'm inviting you to present your paper on teaching English and testing an experiment of graduate level students in Kalyani University. Please take over, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. My paper is Teaching of English and Testing, an experiment of graduate level students in Kalyani University. English language has gained prominence all over the world in the last 2 centuries. Most developing nations today have realized this fact and consequently have geared their education policies and restructured their educational system to include English language as one subject of compulsory study in the school and college curricula. India cannot afford to remain uninfluenced by and indifferent to this awareness on the global level. English language teaching and learning has become very complex in India. This is mainly because of the issues, debates, and discussions about the position of English language in India. The purpose of introducing English language in India has been served because it was very intricately and beautifully woven into the lives of Indians. The language is accepted on the surface level but resisted at the cultural and psychological levels. Challenges like ideological and political opposition to English language, encouragement of mother tongue based education, poor infrastructure, non-availability of qualified teachers have made English language teaching in India a difficult and determined task. Research objectives. To fulfill the purpose of the research work, the researcher conducts the research based on specific aims and objectives. The researcher attempts to find out multiple aspects of English education in West Bengal in a systematic manner. The aims and objectives are as follows. To analysis of the common course syllabus, to evaluation of the purpose of the syllabus, to finding out the positive and negative aspects of the syllabus, to detecting the selection of the items in the syllabus. Methodology. There are various methods used in this research which are described and evaluated here. The three main methods used are participant observations, interviews, and questionnaires are some of the qualitative as well as quantitative methods adopted for the study. The chapter also gives information about the field of research that includes the details of the universities from where the data have been collected, the total number of colleges affiliated to these universities, the number of students, and the number of teachers who responded to the questionnaires. The subjective and objective responses from students and teachers have been collected in order to get a deeper understanding of the education system. The questionnaires were divided into different sections such as background information, textbook information, classroom information, and so on. Interview. In conducting the interview, I followed the important point made by Patton below that the purpose of interviewing is to understand and enter into the perspective of the person being interviewed. I had 2 times interviews with some participants, individually and in groups for both instructors and students. The individual and group interviews for the teachers were held at their offices at faculties of education and languages in respective universities of West Bengal. The group interviews for the students were held in their classrooms, and individual interviews according to my request within the faculty's area. Each interview took 30 minutes to 40 minutes for each participant. Classroom observations. Because he sees and hears the people he studied in many institutions of the kind that normally occur for them rather than just in an isolated and formal interview, he builds an ever-growing fund of impressions, many of them at the subliminal level, which give him an extensive base for the interpretation and analytic use of any particular data. This wealth of information and impression sensitizes him to subtitles which might pass unnoticed in an interview and forces him to raise continually new and different questions. The purpose of the observation was to see the reality of classroom instruction from the participants' perspectives and to generate many questions as possible about the students' participation behavior, verbal and non-verbal, in order to help in this discussion in the context of how they listen, speak, and read and write. During the class, I wrote field notes about the students' participation in classroom, kind of activities assigned, and the teacher's method and styles of teaching. Along with taking notes, I used to sit down with the instructors after classes and discuss with them some issues related to the class and the research subjects. On the other hand, I allotted time chat with the students after their classes related to their class participation and other issues related to the English language skills syllabuses, approaches used by their instructors and the materials used each skill. Data analysis. Kalani University, they taught the course throughout the first year of the course. I collected data from Krishnanath College, which belongs to Kalani University. The selected textbooks are given below. There are two sections of the compulsory English subject in the Kalani University. They are unseen literary text. Unseen. The unseen parts shall consist of the following: comprehension, modes of writing, forms of writing. Literary text, prose. They recommended two texts in the syllabus for the compulsory English. They are Wolf, Shakespeare's Sister. V. Alvin, Dear as the Moon. Poetry. There are two texts included in the syllabus for the compulsory English. They are Keats's On the Grasshopper and Cricket, Hardy, In Time of the Breaking of the Nation. Short story. They taught two short stories for the compulsory English, such as O. Henry, After 20 Years, and Arkanara and Selby. Kalani University offers two courses which are related to language skills. The data were collected from the graduate students of Kalani University regarding their interest, background information, classroom teaching, teaching-related information, and textbook-related information. Students were provided with questionnaires in which they had 4 options to make their preferences. The first semester students of Kalani University were offered with the course of compulsory English. The section as a whole discusses the information regarding classroom, teaching, and textbook. Students were provided with 3 options to mark their preferences for each question. Analysis of students' questionnaire. The questionnaire is designed to analyze the needs of the learners pursuing their BA, BCom, and BSc. It aims to ascertain their perceptions towards the existing compulsory English syllabus, teaching methodology adopted in the classroom, and prescribed activities. The students were in the age group 17 to 21 years. The questionnaires were distributed to 125 students of Krishnanath College from Kalani University. The total respondents consistent of 73 are male and female 47. This is represented in the form of the following graph. First question: which medium you passed secondary and higher secondary with? Out of 2 to 5 students, 13.12% students have got their education through English medium school. 80.44% students have got their education through Bengali medium, and others 4.44% comprises of other medium of instruction. The result also signifies the fact that Bengali medium schools are generally government schools which mainly produce a bulk of memorizing machines, and they remain deprived for the language learning and improving skills. Second question: how do you grade your proficiency in English? There was a 53 respondents who have been marked for the poor out of 2 to 5 students, which is about 23.55%. We have found 30.33% responded which marks for the good. There was 89 students which is marked for the satisfactory, and 53 responded which is marked for the excellent. The learners should be well equipped with oral skills, presentation skills, negotiating, conflict resolving and knowledge sharing and expressing oneself accurately and friendly. There is a need to change the teaching method and upgrade the syllabus for the average students. Third question, how much important in English language to you? 80% students believe that English language is important for the learners. They believe that English is commercial or global language, and because of that they may get opportunities for a job. I would say that the learner want to learn the language because of their professional. Fourth question, why do you need command over English?
Ma'am, sorry to
We can
interrupt
say,
you. Please wind up, ma'am.
yes, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, ma'am, but we are running out of time, ma'am. Please wind up.
Yes, sir. We can say from the diagram that 90% students believe that they need to learn the English language for the communication English skill, for professional reasons, for academic career, and for all of the above. There was many students who have said that they do not come only for the compulsory English classes for passing the exams, but they recognize the importance of the English compulsory classes. 84.5% students feel the compulsory English classes need in them. The informants claim that they need the updated version of a syllabus. They claim also these things taught as a traditional way which does not help much us directly. Are the objectives of teaching and learning of English are fulfilled in the compulsory English classes? This diagram shows that 15.5% students feel that the objectives and learning English are improving in their classes. 22.22% students do not believe that the compulsory English is improved in the class. Most of the informers gave the response for the to some extent and no. The emphasis the fact that the objectives of learning and teaching have to be modified the syllabus. Most of the informers believe that teaching method also should be changed. It is evident from the above diagram that 95.5% students are less proficient in speaking. They always face problem with speaking skills rather than writing skills. Both the tools are important for the learners. They feel writing skill much easier than than writing skill. Conclusion. Recommendations are proposed to improve the English language teaching in Kolkata. The investigator selected Krishnanath College, which comes under Kalyan University, for data collection, from which 5 teachers responded to the questionnaire. As I have mentioned earlier, the teacher's questionnaire was descriptive. The data were collected from the first year students of the graduate program. Total 205 students who participated in the data collection were from first year students. Among them, 40 were from BA Bengali, 35 students were from BA English, 15 students were from Geography department, 10 informers were from BA History, 10 students from Political Science, 8 students were from BA Sanskrit, 7 informers were from BA Sociology, 90 informers were from BCom section. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any question or query from the presenter? Any observation? Okay, I think there is no question. And my some observations about your paper, ma'am, that you have elaborated your first-hand experience and enlightened us with your idea of innovation in every aspect of teaching collectively. I personally think it is more challenging for a teacher to plan a class without a student and controlled environment. And I think your study based on your own experience and experiments. And the era and the time is very crucial, and that is compelling us to do so. And I am congratulating you, ma'am, for a successful presentation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the technical session is about to over, and I would like to conclude some of my point about this session. I would like to conclude that we are living in the age of uncertainty. There is nothing certain in the time of COVID-19. We are not certain about our present, even our assumptions are not much clear, and that is compelling us to believe that hope is the only key to way out, and there is no other option to fight with pandemic. And as a part of fraternity, I do believe that we we educator will not going to waste this suffering. And as some of the scripture says, charavati, 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 that means keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, can make us to came out from this pandemic. I am very thankful to all of the presenters for their wonderful presentation. My best wishes and prayer for you all. And I'm also thankful to the organizer of this conference for inviting me to chair this fruitful session that provided me a chance not only to connect with our diverse ideas, but also enriching my mind. I'm grateful to the organizing committee, Cape Comorin publishers, and especially to Dr. Sylvester Sir for inviting me. I wish you all the luck for the future project, and I wish to be stay connected with you all. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for chairing the session.
Thank you, ma'am.